Good afternoon. Welcome to Good Guy Sports. I'm Jackson Gerke, alongside with my co-host Blake Lumberg, who would be joining us, but probably not. But you never know where he's going to be. He's just one of those adventurous guys. But in the meantime, we got Uncle Mike, our co-host, joining us, and this week's guest, we have special guest Ann, who is Uncle Steve's wife, for this week's guest, it's so great. It's so great to talk to you again. Last time I talked to you was on Christmas. I mean, wow. I mean, feels like I've been talking to you forever. Like feels like you guys are so busy with too much going on lately, and now you're just at home at home getting things done around the house, taking care of things, and uh and yeah, great to have you on. But and Uncle Mike, now Ann actually has some family and relatives up in the Washington D.C. area. This is Mike Roby, and he actually lives in the Washington D.C. area. I say that because Ann actually has some family and relatives that live in D.C. So that's why I had to bring it up. So Mike, it's your it's your first privilege to talk to her for the first time, and for this week's show. Can't wait to hear all about it, and great to have you on, and love to hear your take on the two that you're on. Welcome, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Jack, and great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm delighted to be on Jack's show and to give the woman's view here. We'll see what I can add, but I always love listening to your podcast, Jack. So to be a part of it is wonderful.
I appreciate that. It gives me kind words, and I couldn't ask any better. And that's what I'm all here for. Just get those ratings up on my YouTube channel, and with our subscribers and comments and the viewers. If we keep it up, maybe the sports people will put me and take me up to the next level. But I just can't wait to see what they have to say. But I'm with you. I like to see this thing keep it going from week after week. It should get better.
No doubt.
All right, so let's start up for our first topic, and that is we're going to be recapping the NBA finals that just wrapped up, which hard to believe that the NBA and NHL season had ended this early. I thought it would be going to the game 7, but it turns out ending it in 5 games, which I feel like for basketball and hockey coming to an end for ending it this early. Now that we're in baseball season and golf and other sports this summer, now that it's officially over, that gives me to recap of Nikola Jokic winning the most valuable player, and the Denver Nuggets just winning every single game. The Heat had only one game in the series, but had a great playoff run when they while they were on their way to the finals. Nuggets just were just too much to handle, and the Heat just ran into a better team. The Nuggets were just a little bit better of a team, and they're just they just have too much talent. They have great players, Jamal Murray and Jokic, and other individual players, and
Jimmy Butler ran out of gas there a little bit at the end.
Yeah, he did. They just couldn't keep up with this Nuggets team that just doesn't really just have enough, doesn't really have their numbers, and they just got beat by a better team that has bigger bodies and just more physical, and I agree. Just didn't have enough in the gas tank, and this Nuggets team just turns out to be probably one of the best this year in the NBA. They swept the Lakers in the last round. Now they won the championship. The parade's going on today as we speak over there in Denver, and yeah, they winning at the championship for the first time ever for the city and for the fans, and they now joined the Avalanche, who won it last year. If for 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 their for that city and their fan base, for their franchise. And the Broncos won the Super Bowl over there about a few years. And the only team that they didn't win for that city is the Colorado Rockies, who actually lost to the Red Sox in the 07 World Series. But that's the only thing missing with the fans out there in the Mile High City, Denver. But
Well, I hope my
Nuggets won the series.
Yeah, I hope my Celtics tuned in so they could see it, how a team plays together.
Right.
That the Nuggets really do a nice job of that. And the Celtics could learn from that. So I hope they were watching. And I love how Djokovic is going back, and he can't wait for the series to be over to get back to his horses. I just love he's just an everyday kind of guy, down to earth. Doesn't care about all the accolades. It was refreshing in the NBA.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So both the finals went to only 5 games.
That's right. Surprisingly, which doesn't really happen very often in the modern era. But between a series for both basketball and hockey, and then what's in the end, yeah, and then the next night you had the Vegas Golden Knights clinching the Stanley Cup in home ice, which also happened to be which also did in front of their home fans, much like the Denver Nuggets did. Those fans just deserved it. And I remember the last time, and I remember their last trip to the finals when they lost to Mike's Capitals to Ovechkin, who won the Conn Smythe Trophy for this season and for that year. But now Bruce Cassidy, who came so close to winning it with the Bruins, now got it done with the Golden Knights for his second try. And so now
Yeah, they were tough enough to take his tough coaching.
right.
Really
And
wimpy in Boston.
Marcek Teague, whatever, if I pronounce his name right, won the Conn Smythe Trophy this year. And yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights, they finally got a way to get it done. And now to talk about the Stanley Cup final, the Florida Panthers just had a incredible run this for this postseason. Matthew Tkachuk for the Panthers and those guys, they had a great year. It's just they didn't have enough efficiency, and they just yeah, they were out of gas. And like I said, yeah, they just yeah, the Panthers were in a had a great year. It's just the Vegas Knights were just they were just a very physical and great team that they went up against, and that's what happened. But good for Vegas. They deserve a title, and I think that being in the gambling capital in the world, I think their fans really just deserved it, and they did. And you got to give them a lot of credit. I think they got what they wanted, and they did, and they won the cup, and that
should be a fun.
And they and I was glad to see it to watch it in home ice from their fans.
So you think Vegas is going to turn into a sports town? And the A's are talking about moving there. The only thing they need is to steal an NBA team.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I've heard. So I was watching one of the. I heard about it, and I heard all these fans just saying sell the team, and they are doing a protest in Oakland Coliseum. And now that I think about it, there's a report out there that I was reading an article on that they Nevada given the financial approval Wednesday, providing the funding for a proposed 5-building stadium with a retractable roof.
Yeah, out on the strip.
Yeah, out in the Vegas Yeah, that's right. It's
but
going
it's
to be
only gonna seat 20,000 people.
yeah, and it's going to be it's going to be a bill with 38 million in tax money on a
Oh.
2015 vote, and
The taxpayers are gonna pay for it, huh?
sounds like they are. And
Or
now,
not.
now it's got to. But now the next step are is that it's got to get approved by the Nevada governor and by the MLBPA
Hmm.
a desk is what it has to get taken care of, and then and if that's completed, then the fans will have a lot to cheer about for the team in Vegas. And
So Jack, do you know who the last baseball team to move cities was?
I'm going to guess the San Francisco, the New York Giants, in moved from New York to San Francisco would be one of my guesses.
No.
Hmm.
The Montreal Expos
Oh,
moving
Montreal Expos. Oh,
to
right.
become the Washington Nationals.
Right. I forgot about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
The Expos. Right. I forgot about that. In fact, they actually moved to DC in 2005. So that's something
Yep.
I had to,
Hmm.
that's something I had to throw out there. So that's something to keep from our, history lessons and all that stuff. So
Well, you know me, I'm gonna throw some local color in there sometime.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. Here on
So
that.
what's that background you got there, Jack?
So this week, so this week, I am at the LA Country Club where it's taking place right now for this year's US Open.
Now, is this the club's first major tournament?
In 45 years, I would have to guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
So
what's up with this 15th hole?
I mean, it's Bermuda.
Par three?
I feel like that's what the layouts are right now for this layout is out there. I think.
It's, depending on where they put the pin, it could be as short as 78 yards.
Wow. I could manage that.
Yeah. There was a hole in one on that hole today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A Matteo Pavon from France.
I hope he's got hole-in-one insurance. Expensive bar bill.
Yeah. Paul Bryan. I don't know if I don't think I pronounced his name, but he's had a great shot there for out there for him. Good for him. Great for him for what he deserved.
Yeah. But before we get into that, what about Nick Taylor's 72-foot birdie eagle putt to win the Canadian Open?
Oh,
I saw that. I watched it in real time, and let me tell you, that was in the history books and probably in all of PGA Tour golf. And I remember watching it live and in front of the couch, seeing it myself, and I knew he had a chance. I knew it was going to go in. And I just knew it was in this. Knew they were in a playoff. They played like at least 10 holes or something like that. They just like
felt like it.
He snuck it in there, and that's how he won the thing. And he battled, but the Canadians really deserved it, and they were singing the national anthem prior to that. And those fans up there and up in the RBC Heritage Canadian Open just really had a lot to cheer for. And I think that and I think the fans really deserve it, and his family and the fans were all in there, and did you see, like, right after they were storming the course, and then they were tackling by a security guard. Like, that must have been a funny moment right there.
So when was the last time a Canadian won the Canadian Open?
Wow.
It was like, what, 50 years or something?
Like 1954.
Yeah. That's a long time ago.
A long time.
That was like before the PGA Tour existed. Like, it wasn't even a thing back then until today. So that just
Mm.
gives you an idea of what the tournament is like compared to what you're used to today.
Yeah.
No, that was a very exciting sports moment.
All right, so we're gonna get to some other topics in a second.
So right now we got 2 players tied at -8.
Oh, who's the other than Ricky?
Xander,
Oh, Sheffield.
Sheffield. Yeah.
Yeah, right now, Ricky Fowler, Alexander Schauffele, and Bryson DeChambeau. We got a co-leader with Ricky Fowler and Alexander Schauffele as it stands right now for the moment, but it could change within the next few hours, heading into the primetime hour, which comes on at 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC, which is going to be 5 o'clock Pacific time for uh uh for their coverage. I mean,
Yeah,
the
gonna be a
idea of
different
like primetime golf
time
out
change.
here in the East Coast compared to where it's because they're in a Pacific time zone, which is probably why they had the which is probably why they decided to air it at. So
Oh.
I mean that's why that's part of the reason why they decided to do it is because they're out west and we're out east, and that's what happens when the U.S. Open is on the other side of the country.
So who's your favorite to win it come Sunday?
For me, so one of the co-favorites from Caesar Sportsbook that I've got Scotty Scheffler to take the championship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always a good bet. How
He's
about Jordan
Okay.
Spieth? Has Jordan gone off yet, or did he not play very well today? Mike seems to be tied into the.
let's
leaderboard.
see.
He was out there
He's
early.
+1. He's +1, but he's he's only at the 3rd hole.
Okay, okay,
So he's got a ways to go.
yeah. All right, we'll see how he does. I like to see Ricky up there.
Yeah, I mean it
Hasn't won in a while.
it's the game, and yeah, so but then also we got some other headlines to talk about too involving the game. Like we've got Jay Monahan in the medical emergency critical situation from they had December. That's just our thoughts go out to him as during his recovery and his absence, and you feel bad for him for what he has to go through. And then of course we hear about the Live Golf Tour merger and all the Saudi Arabia stuff and this political thing I keep hearing about and how it's really becoming a thing than it is now. And I mean, it's always popped up on like sports articles and stuff. And Mike, do you have any thoughts on this Live Golf Tour thing for like? I mean, I know that Dustin Johnson's gonna be joining in 2024 and this year as well. And what is your reaction and thoughts on that?
Well, unfortunately it all comes down to money.
Right.
And I just hope it doesn't ruin the sport. I kind of doubt it. There's so many people playing golf, but it just goes to show there's so much money in the game that anyway, I hope it doesn't get too corrupted.
Yeah, there's
Go
a
ahead.
lot to it, I think, in the whole agreement, and now the government is saying they're gonna look at it because they don't want the Saudis to be able to just come in and buy up our sports.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a drama that plays out for a while. There'll be more twists and turns to what happens. And I'm sure the players, especially the PGA players, are just waiting to see what their paycheck looks like, what it's going to be. For something they didn't want to get involved with, they're going to be dragged into it. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting either way to see how this all plays out for the years to come for this tournament. But should be something to tune into for the years ahead once this gets all unfold. So
Absolutely.
all right, so we're gonna move on now and we will talk about some more sports in a second, but Uncle Mike, we've got to keep things local for you and talk about this Bradley Beal working with Howard Kuzma and trade partners, trying to look for a trade partner with this scenarios where they're all and Kyle Kuzma and Kyle Kuzma, poor Zingas, and those guys are all restricted free agents. They're trying to find like a trade partner, and whenever I first heard about it, I was listening to it on talk radio in DC, and they were saying that if they trade away this player, it's going to like have some like mixed feelings for like depending on who you talk to or which player you're really in part that runs the organization, and depending on who you talk to, I mean, they're going to have different pans on it. And like if he gets traded to another team, and if that's a good thing or not, I mean, Uncle Mike, you live up in the area. I mean, I don't know if you hear about it, but I doubt it. But I want to know your thoughts. And here's what I think should happen to Bradley Beal, where I think he should go, compared to what everybody else says on like for anybody else in the media. I think he should go to Golden State and play with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and the Splash Brothers. I think he would be a great fit, and I know he won't like the state income tax there like he would in Florida, but I think it would be a great fit, and I think he'll work well with this Steve Kerr team, and I think this team will be in the mix and hopefully compete with the Nuggets like they won this past year, and that's how I see it, and I think that's where he should go. And Mike, if you heard about it, just want to know your reaction to that, and you tell me what he should do. Should he stay in Washington? Should he move on? And if he does, are you fine with it? And if you are, what do you think they should do for the draft and for the years to come? As I know that their GM is, if I was a GM for the team, I would like rebuild and be in rebuild mode. But if he gets opted out and get traded to another team, you okay with it, or if you aren't, tell me what they should do, and if they should rebuild a team, or you tell me. You're up in the area, I'm not. Just what do you think they should do if they trade a player? You cool with that?
Well, Wizards seem to have been rebuilding for the last decade and a half, so that's not new. I think if he gets a chance, he should go with a team. I love your idea of him going to the Golden State Warriors and playing with Curry. I think that would be that would be an outstanding lineup. But I don't know. DC hasn't put a good product on the basketball court in a while, so might as well rebuild, and that would be all right. Bigger issue with DC is what are they going to do on the ice? A different sport, but
yeah, right. You're talking about the Capitals, and they just Peter Melendrez is now with the Rangers, so yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
right.
We need another parade downtown, but I don't know where we're gonna get it.
We haven't had any, sounds like you haven't had any lately, so I don't know what to tell you about that, but
Yeah, we haven't had one in 4 years, so
well,
but
I can
that's
tell
all
you
right.
that, well, I can tell you that Boston is so used to it because they won so many titles compared to where Uncle Mike is. So
I know, but we got spoiled and we want more. But I don't think it's coming from anywhere anytime soon. Although the Celtics, if they regroup properly, but baseball sure isn't going to do anything. The owner's running our team into the ground, I'm afraid.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, they got what they wanted out of it, and now they're just trying to do status quo and not spend as much money.
Well, they could be worse. They could be spent 400 million on a payroll and have a losing record like the Mets.
I guess it could be worse, but Boston fans are not used to it, and so they're not happy up here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, being a fan of the Nationals, it was great when they were winning because we didn't have as many fans for the opposing team showing up. Now it's back to normal where
Yeah.
half the fans show up are rooting for the other team.
Yeah, yeah. We just have a lot of tourists that want to see Fenway
Mhm.
Park. I think
Yeah.
that's what keeps us alive at the
Yeah.
moment.
Well, that's what keeps DC as a baseball town.
Yeah,
At least keeps the turnstiles going.
yeah. It's a good time of year for baseball. And
Yeah.
we see the
Yeah.
nation's capital.
Indeed.
yeah, because she's been there and she has family there, and yeah, and like you said,
Yeah, we had a great time. When our kids were younger, we did the tour and we went and saw the baseball. It's a nice stadium.
Yeah. No, it's a great it now it has a really nice vibe to it because the buildings, new buildings been constructed. There's a lot of restaurants and bars on the ground floor of these buildings. So it really has a nice, neighborhood vibe to it. It's really has helped vitalize that area of town. Audi Field is only 2 blocks away,
Okay.
and for the soccer venue, even the professional women's team, the Spirit, play at Audi Field as well.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience now going to these
Yeah.
arenas. You know,
Mhm.
it's not just to see. You have to
Yeah.
have the great food and variety and
Mhm. Yeah.
you know.
Jack, your Braves are man, they look
they
unstoppable.
just tell me about it. They have won their doubleheader against the Tigers last night. I catch some of that, and but they were, I mean, at one point they were tied in their last game, and somehow Ronald Acuna Jr. got it done and found a way to get the W.
And he belted 2 home runs, I think.
Yeah,
Didn't
and
he?
then oh yeah, and he just keeps just hitting those balls out of the park as much
Yeah.
as it can. That's what those Braves just keep on doing. They just keep on hitting those bats, and good things
Yeah.
happen.
Well, they have the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball.
And we have to talk and we have to talk about and we're not even talking about them. We got to get some respect, and we're not even talking about this team yet. Have you seen what the Diamondbacks are doing? They are in first place right now, and 2 games above the Dodgers right now in first place. I mean, we haven't even paid attention to this team, but they are finding ways to win. They're in solo first place right now in the NL West.
Yeah. Yeah, the Diamondbacks got a good team, and Um, I'm surprised. The big shock to me is the Padres.
Yeah.
They're underperforming. But I think in the American League, you got to have another shout out to the Orioles.
Yeah. Yeah. And that includes Uncle Rob, who
Yeah.
have to get on the show soon. But yeah, the Orioles are. But yeah, the Orioles. Yeah, the Orioles are are in second place behind the red hot Rays right now. So I don't think anybody's going to be catching them in the AL East anytime soon, especially with how hot they've been lately and of how this team got really has been really dominating ever since. Now they did now they did come up a win after losing the last two to the Athletics, which we mentioned the off field issues for the Athletics about them moving to Vegas. Well, on the field, the Athletics have snapped a 7-game winning streak, and I mean, they were running on it for a while. It just came to an end against the Rays, but they were like, but previously, the A's were like 18-51 previously, behind only the Kansas City Royals, who has probably the worst record in all of MLB. And but now the Athletics just getting like 7 wins in a row. It kind of reminds me if you ever seen the movie Moneyball, it kind of reminds me, except like in a real life version of it. And that's probably what
Yeah.
that's probably what I think of when I think of the Athletics. Whenever I see them, and whenever I see them play on TV. And
So the Athletics total payroll is about equivalent to what Max Scherzer makes in 1 year.
wow.
So they've got some nerds
Yeah.
making some good picks.
Yeah.
Of course, baseball that's how everybody constructs their teams now. They get the nerds in the room and they just look at the stats.
Get statistics going. Yeah.
They've taken away some of the sparkle of the game, I think. But you just have to have a really good nerd on your staff.
They should give a trophy out. Most valuable nerd.
Oh yeah.
That really a thing.
Well, it should be.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so so US Open was also going on, was definitely going on earlier in the morning. It started like very early out on the West Coast. Even though I wish I was out in LA, but I'm not. But I know that you guys were out there not long ago, and for a visit, seeing your daughter out there. But I don't know if you guys ever like drive by it or ever seen it while you were out there for a visit. Like, did you guys ever get to see it at all, or had any time to like see it in person?
Unfortunately not. I looked up today, where it is in relation to something I've been near. So I've been very close to it, not knowing that there was a huge golf course there.
Well, there is now. It's called
36 holes that they have now.
Wow.
So it's a lot of land in LA.
Yeah, for this tournament they're playing at the LA Country Club North Course. So they have like north and south, maybe east and west. So it's a big place. It's like a course that's in its own city, not even in the suburbs, and like it's not even like in the outskirts or in the rural area. It's in actual LA, so it makes it just more different compared to
on the edge of Beverly Hills there.
Yeah,
and it's a fancy area.
The Washington Post had a great article about the club today in today's paper.
Oh, really?
How hidden it is, and that, for example, the 14th tee is nearby the Playboy Mansion, and then you can hear the animals in the private zoo. So you can hear some of the monkeys and some of the birds and exotic creatures. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, only in LA.
Yeah, and they were saying that you know, a lot of people just drive by, have no idea that
Mhm.
there's actually this golf course. And in some of the holes, it's like taking a hike, you know,
Mm,
hiking up and down the mountains.
yeah. Yeah, the most short holes and then probably the,
Mhm.
long, they call it the big boy course.
Yeah, they were saying a lot of players are, you know, really looking forward to it because
Different.
it's a lot different than a lot of the other courses that are laid out.
Mhm. Well, it should be interesting. They say they're gonna, they probably didn't get any rain, but they watered the course, substantially, and then they're gonna let it dry out as the weekend goes. So
Hmm.
it'll become more difficult.
Yeah.
It should be interesting by Sunday, Jack, when it looks like those balls will be just rolling like
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah, and they're actually, and I heard they're reintroducing a golf ball in the 2026 six that's gonna be rolled out. So I think that's going to make the game feel different. Whatever, I heard this press conference on it, and you're
Hmm.
right. There are going to be a lot of golf balls rolling there, rolling on on the greens in that course, and I'm going to be a very interesting to see how this tournament plays out and unfolds.
Mhm.
Depending on who's leading it or co-leading it or whoever or whatever this final round concludes within the next 24 hours from now. Between now and then, we'll determine who's going to win the title. And you're yeah, I think it's going to be just going to be I'm going to be very intriguing to see how this all plays out for their players, to see who's going to get the trophy in their hands come Sunday evening.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's a large field that everybody's tight at the end and makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the PGA Tour should really well, the U.S. Open should really be. I mean,
Mhm.
you make golf that exciting and of the way it usually turns out. I mean, that just makes it for a good viewership for people who tune in to watch. And I think that could really make make the game a little better, despite what's really going on lately for what they have within this tournament.
What's the next tournament after this one?
The Open Championship at Royal Liverpool.
Mm.
That comes in July.
Okay.
Hmm.
And yeah, that should be a fun one to watch. That's actually the final major of the year that follows this one. So
Yeah. Should be good.
really looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, so I also have to point out that last year's US Open was actually in Brookline Country Club, right just down the road from you guys in Boston. So I just have to point that out too. So
Yes. We didn't make it there, but
it
a
was
nice course.
it was outside of Boston where you guys are in Brookline, Massachusetts. So
Yeah.
that's where it took place.
Yeah. It's a tough place to get to in terms of, I think they were busing people in. It's not a lot of room, not a lot of room out there.
So, Ann, have you played that course?
I haven't. We did walk it the year they had the Ryder Cup.
Uh-huh.
We went to a practice round. That was an exciting Ryder Cup when the US won. But no, never played. It's pretty private. They even were debating whether to allow Tom Brady to become a member, if you can imagine. Here, the poor guy had a house, beautiful house he and Giselle built right on the course. And then they'll see if they'll take him as a member.
Oh. That reminds me of what Groucho Marx once said. I wouldn't be a member of any club that would have me as a member.
Yes, it's called the Country Club.
Ooh.
They think highly of themselves.
Yeah.
But anyway, since then, Tom has moved on to other golf courses.
I bet. Yeah.
Mm,
We have a score. We have a score update now. Phil Mickelson is 2 under after 8 holes.
wow. All right.
All right.
He's going to make a run for it. Good old Phil. Of course, that's kind of he still has a house in San Diego, so he was running home after the practice round. So
Yeah.
he's a California boy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Kind of like
Kind of like Freddie Freeman.
right, exactly. He's that kind of player.
Sorry, Jack. Just had to throw that in.
Well, yeah, you can say whatever you want. You just love that player.
I like Freddie.
All right,
He
so
could-
I know you do, but now before we move on our next topic, I've got to talk about what happened last night in the Nationals game about this error being taken place in the and what was in the final ending where the game was tied and on a interference call that the manager was so fired up and
It was a bad call.
he was just yeah he just and he just could and he didn't and the play was unchallengeable and he didn't get his wish and now
It was the exact same call that they called Trey Turner out in Game 6 of 2019 World Series.
well
The exact same play.
And the exact same stadium where the Nationals aren't very kind in, which I have to tell you that
If you look at the replay, Myers, who was the batter, was running in fair ground. And when you run to first base, you have to be running in foul ground until you get to the base. And if the ball hits you or you interfere and you're ran down in fair territory, it's runner's interference. I think the league needs to tighten that rule up. There's too much but anyway.
Legal room.
Yeah. And then I saw Dave Martinez post game showing a picture of how they should address, like you said, of the interference play that the league just probably won't make those changes anytime soon. But he makes the argument at it, and he just got to like get this all addressed to figure out. And
yeah, well, that would have been the third out of the inning, and the game would have gone into free baseball, extra innings.
Instead, it appears to me that that the pitcher actually got hit by the ball by one of the Astros batters, and that's probably what caused that caused the error right there for that final play. And trust me, I've seen it a lot on post shows and stuff like that on like TV. I've seen the highlights of it. I saw the replay of it, and yeah, listen, it was a heartbreaking. I mean, heartbreaking loss for the Nationals. You tied the game up, but then you ended it with a error. Come on,
yeah.
You got to be more smart than that. That just doesn't get any. That doesn't make life feel better after watching a play like that.
Yeah,
They gotta get better like that in those when the game is on the line. They got to be smart than that.
well, yeah. But that's my team. I gotta love them.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I've got some breaking news up here. DeAndre Hopkins really enjoyed his visit today with the Patriots.
Oh, that's right. That was actually gonna be my next topic.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually heard about it, and yes, as you mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins visiting the Patriots and for a visit, and I heard it went pretty well, like you said, and
Yeah,
And I
he
think that
probably looked at the facilities and said, what? This place is not very nice.
well, that might be coming from a different player, but then you also but then in the same division, you also have also have Stephon Diggs skipping minicamp, but then their coach was so upset about it that he couldn't make it, and then a few days later he reports back to mandatory minicamp, and he just gets a full participant back at it and to where he previously was at, and that's where we are right now. And for like unknown reasons, now that's where we are right now. And then we got, and then also in the AFC, we got Odell Beckham Jr. getting along with Lamar Jackson in their press conference, which I watched prior to our show, and that's what's going on right now in NFL mandatory minicamp for the start of football season, which I feel like is, I don't know how many days are we till kickoff? Like 276 or less. I feel like we're too early to start to talk football, but now that I think about fantasy football, which I feel like we're just too early to think about it, but I guess we're just I don't know.
We're only probably about 70, 75 days away from opening day.
Mhm. And you'll have quite a few injuries in between there.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of drama.
But the Commanders will have a new owner.
Yes,
Yes.
that will be good.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is a great thing, because as Uncle Mike said, they're one owner away from winning from a championship, and that's what he always, and that's his line, and that's what he sticks with, and that's what the folks up
And
down
now they're
down in
now
DC
that they
say.
took its advice.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
It's a good group, isn't it? You have some interesting
Hmm.
people in
Right.
there. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much they know about football, but
Well, as long as they get the right people to run it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing DeAndre said. He was looking for stable ownership.
Yeah.
And we've got that up here in New England.
And if it goes all planned, he would give the Patriots a team in the mix in the AFC behind only the Bills.
We desperately need
Dolphins will be
somebody
right there.
of his caliber.
The Jets with Aaron Rodgers and
Yes.
then with yeah, I know that the Jets are
Tough division.
tough
for
division
us.
now than what you're used to up there, and in the AFC East, and you got Aaron Rodgers and teammates joining up there, up there with that fan base, and yeah, the AFC
All around New York City, Jack. He was
really
at
up
the
for-
Tony
up for-
Awards the other night, and Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers. I think he's enjoying New York so far.
I think he's loving it, not unlike in Green Bay where he had to deal with
Until he plays.
Right.
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's because because when he was in Green Bay, he would always enjoy the life of Lambeau Field and the town of Green Bay and all that stuff that he always enjoys up there, up in the title town there out in Lambeau. But now
They're nice Midwestern people. They're kind and sweet.
yeah,
Not so much in New York.
yeah, absolutely. Everybody, yeah, pretty much anyone in the Midwest is kind of like you said. I mean, you got a different kind of feel and from what you're used to, and with Aaron Rodgers leaving the division, I keep hearing about reports and keep hearing about it that the Detroit Lions actually might be the favorites to win the NFC North. I might be being too hype about it, but I feel like there's a team that's getting healthy and has beat the Packers late last year and almost made it to the playoffs. But Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, those guys, if they stay healthy, yeah, they're going to be a tough team to beat in that division, despite Aaron Rodgers not being in Green Bay anymore, which makes it more favorable for the teams in the NFC North.
What about Captain Kirk and the Vikings?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah. They're up there with them, and I think between them and the Bears with Justin Fields too, with the for their team, and if they and let's say if they all stay healthy, and Green Bay just has a pretty good year, but not great, then who knows what would happen down the stretch between now and then. I think everybody has a lot to say and give for what this division has to say between now and late December and January.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting year, I think.
I agree. All right, before we get ourselves out of here, we've got to talk about the College World Series before we end our show, which I've got to get to, which we can't do without leaving our show today. So the first matchup we got is the Oral Roberts. Yeah, that's right. Oral Roberts, surprisingly in there, unlike basketball, for when they had their run in the March Madness tournament. They will play TCU on Friday, which is tomorrow afternoon. That should be a very interesting one. Virginia taking on Florida tomorrow night at 7:00. That's going to be the doubleheader game that falls the first one that falls TCU or Roberts, and then Stanford taking on Wake Forest. And yeah, I had to bring I had to bring it up, but yeah, that Wake Forest is the number one team in the country, and yeah, they beat Uncle Mike's alma mater, George Mason. Yeah, yeah, I mean, your team made the tournament in the super regionals, but they got beat by that Demon Deacon team in Wake Forest. They're just number one team for a reason, and get used to it. They just got a bunch of players that like scored 22 unanswered runs over Alabama in their previous matchup, and that team was very good and talented and couldn't keep up with George Mason. You had a great run until last, but the Demon Deacons are just a little bit better than your alma mater team.
That's okay.
Nothing they can do about it. And then finally, Tennessee taking on 5 LSU. That's the final game. That's Saturday night at 7:00. And those are lineups for the teams in the College World Series. They'll take place in Omaha and out there in Nebraska, which I feel like should be on your bucket list for like traveling for any baseball venue. I think you would really enjoy that. Maybe mark it down on your calendar if you are able. I think you would enjoy it. Anyway, listen. What is your take on this year's field in this College World Series bracket? Any team that's stood out for you, and who do you think's going to win it all? But here's my I'll take my pick, and I'll ask you guys, who do you like to win this year's College World Series?
I'll let Mike go because I don't know anything about it.
Huh.
Well,
I'm like, you don't follow that sounds like you don't follow that level of the sport very well.
I don't want to,
well, my hometown pick would have to be UVA, but I think that Wake Forest is going to take it.
And see, I was going to say Wake Forest, just on, nice school, the pretty campus. And so that would be my pick too. I'll be like Mike.
Good analogy.
What do you got, Jack?
So for me,
what do you think?
I have got, let's see. So I've got TCU beating Oral Roberts in the first game. I say they win. I say they split 1 and 2, and TCU takes game 3 and they advance. Virginia taking on Florida. I've got Virginia beating Florida in 2 games in that one. Stanford and Wake Forest. That's now I do have to point out that Stanford actually won in a walk-off where the outfielder couldn't see anything where the ball went in that walk-off win over Texas and their super regional. That's how they've got that far, and they're in it for a reason. And I don't know if you saw that play, Uncle Mike, but it had to be tough to watch if you were a Longhorns fan. But good for Stanford. They deserve to win it. My sister is out there, and she's got to be very proud. And I wish she got tickets to this tournament, but she can't afford it. But anyway, I have Stanford winning that one, but it'll be close. But in game one, but I've got Wake Forest winning that series. I agree with you, Mike. I've got Wake Forest winning it all in that one. They will advance to the finals, and I've actually got LSU in the finals against Virginia, which I think should be a great matchup to watch. And I think I've got LSU to take the title this year in the men's College World Series.
That's a good pick. I know Duke has got their center fielder used to play for LSU. Was it transfer from LSU?
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't know his name, but I know he played for them. But I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see that series against UVA and Duke.
Yeah,
Duke's got some young arms. They'll be a contender in the next year or two.
yeah, they were right there. They just fell short and just couldn't get it done. They're just going home and just watching it on TV instead. And but now UVA gets a chance to go to the tournament, and good for them. I think they'll have a shot to win a second title, even though you're up in the area. And well, not really, but kind of sort of. But they'll get a shot at it, and who knows what they have at stake. But yeah, Duke just like you said, they have a very good talented group, and I think they'll they should really be proud for what they have for years to come. And I think that their recruiting class should be right. I think they should be right back in this position for the years to come. And I agree. They'll be back in this position next year.
Great.
And then lastly, Vanderbilt. Yeah, they just fell short of winning it, of going to the tournament this year, but they got a lot to be proud. But my brother went to school there, and he's a proud alma mater for them. And you got to feel bad for them that they didn't make it. They were in the Super Angels, but they couldn't make it. They got beat by Mississippi State in the last round there, but in that Super Regional. But great season. They'll be back in this position next year. They'll find a way, and I think they'll find a way to get it done.
That sounds great. That's all right.
All right, Ann. Great to have you on. I hope you can come on soon.
Well, thanks for having me, Jack. I enjoyed it. Good talking with both of you.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and enjoy golf this weekend.
Yes, indeed. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Jackson, thank you.
Mike, great to have you on, Ann. Great to see you. I hope I get you on again soon. If not, I don't know what your summer plans are, but if you come back, we'd love to have you on back on as our guest.
Definitely. Maybe I'll bring Steve with me next time.
Oh, I would love that.
Twofer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great entertainment right there. I think it would be all in for that.
That must see TV. All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice night.
Have a good evening. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.